Imagine a future where the Philippine military can monitor vast stretches of ocean, coordinate forces across thousands of islands, and detect potential threats from hundreds of kilometers above the Earth. That future may be closer than many people realize. The armed forces of the Philippines is now laying the foundation for what could become one of the biggest transformations in its history. A dedicated military organization focused on space operations. Rather than relying only on ships, aircraft, and ground-based radar, the AFP wants to begin using satellites as part of its defense network. So what exactly is being planned? Why does it matter? And how could it change Philippine national security over the next few years? Let's take a closer look. During a recent interview, outgoing AFP Chief of Staff General Romeo Browner Jr. explained that the military is preparing to establish a space center that could eventually grow into a full AFP Space Command. According to him, the military cannot wait until satellites are already in orbit before creating the organization that will operate them. Instead, the goal is to build the expertise, personnel, and systems first so that when future satellites become available, the Philippines is already prepared to use them effectively. It's a long-term strategy rather than a short-term project. When people hear the words space program, many immediately think of astronauts or rocket launches. Military space operations are very different. Today's armed forces depend heavily on satellites. They provide secure communications, navigation, surveillance, weather information, and real-time intelligence. Without these capabilities, modern military operations become much more difficult. This is why countries around the world continue investing in military space assets. For an archipelago like the Philippines, which has more than 7,000 islands and one of the largest maritime areas in Southeast Asia, access to reliable satellite information could significantly improve national defense. One of the biggest advantages of military satellites is persistent surveillance. Instead of relying solely on patrol aircraft or naval vessels, satellites can repeatedly observe enormous areas from orbit. This allows commanders to monitor shipping lanes, coastlines, and remote islands much more efficiently. In areas such as the West Philippine Sea, maintaining continuous awareness has always been challenging because of the sheer size of the region. Space-based observation could help provide a broader operational picture, allowing decision-makers to respond more quickly to changing situations. Satellites won't replace ships or aircraft, but they can greatly enhance how those assets are used. General Browner also highlighted another important objective: improving connectivity across the armed forces. Modern militaries rely on information moving quickly between commanders and frontline units. Aircraft, drones, missile systems, naval vessels, and ground troops all need to communicate in real time. Satellites can support this by creating secure communication links over long distances, especially in locations where traditional infrastructure is unavailable. In emergency situations, this capability becomes even more valuable. Reliable communications can make the difference between delayed responses and coordinated operations. The benefits aren't limited to military missions. The Philippines experiences typhoons, floods, volcanic eruptions, and earthquakes almost every year. Satellite imagery can help authorities assess damage, identify isolated communities, and coordinate rescue operations much faster. During large-scale disasters, communication networks are often disrupted. Space-based systems can help restore connectivity and improve coordination between emergency responders. This means investments in military satellite capabilities may also strengthen humanitarian assistance and disaster relief operations. According to military officials, the current goal is to begin developing these capabilities over the next few years, with plans pointing toward 2028 as an important milestone. The AFP intends to start with a smaller organization before expanding it into a fully operational Space Command as additional resources become available. Officials have also indicated that funding has already been considered as part of the broader modernization effort. Building an entirely new capability takes time, and the military appears to be focusing on gradual development rather than rushing the process. Military technology is evolving rapidly. Drones, cyber warfare, artificial intelligence, precision-guided weapons, and satellite systems are becoming increasingly important. General Browner noted that armed forces around the world are adapting to these changes. The Philippines does not want to be left behind. Creating a Space Command is part of preparing for future challenges instead of reacting only after those challenges appear. Planning ahead allows new organizations, training programs, and operational procedures to mature before they are urgently needed. Military technology is evolving rapidly. Drones, cyber warfare, artificial intelligence, precision-guided weapons, and satellite systems are becoming increasingly important. General Browner noted that armed forces around the world are adapting to these changes. The Philippines does not want to be left behind. Creating a Space Command is part of preparing for future challenges instead of reacting only after those challenges appear. Planning ahead allows new organizations, training programs, and operational procedures to mature before they are urgently needed. If these plans continue moving forward, the establishment of an AFP Space Command could become one of the defining milestones of Philippine defense modernization. It represents more than launching satellites. It represents investing in information, communication, surveillance, and long-term strategic capability. Exactly what satellites will eventually be acquired and when they will be launched remains to be seen. But one thing is becoming increasingly clear. The future battlefield will not be limited to land, sea, and air. Space is becoming an essential part of modern national security, and the Philippines is taking its first steps toward joining that new frontier. What do you think? Should the Philippines prioritize military satellites and establish an AFP Space Command? Or should resources focus on expanding traditional air and naval capabilities first? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this defense update, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more updates on Philippine military modernization, defense technology, and regional security. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.